Oh, thank you. Infinite love and gratitude to you. I wrote it down. I'm grateful that I am more aware than I ever have been. I am aware that I have an inordinate need, and I say underlined need 3 times, for approval and confirmation of where I'm at all the time.
Well, you've been trained into that. And it's a natural thing when you think about it, because when you perform in a way that soothes the conditions of those who are watching you, in other words, if you behave yourself, they are more likely to feel positive emotion when they see you than negative emotion. And since you are an uplifter, you like it when people feel positive emotion more than you like it when they feel negative emotion. So you have spent a lifetime standing on your head in order to keep people happy.
Yes.
But the more of them that there are, the more impossible this task becomes, because even if there are 2 of them, often they need different things from you. In other words, the real revelation comes when you're trying to please 2 people that each want something different from you in the same moment. And the flaw of your reasoning suddenly comes full into view. Uh-oh, I've been attempting the impossible. So everything that we're talking about is about helping you to not give a rip what they think, and instead to care infinitely about how you feel in closing this gap. But really, that's too strong of a statement for most of you to hear, and so we'll soften it by saying, it's normal for you to care how they feel because you love them and want them to feel good. But you can't care how they feel about how you feel more than you care about how you feel. That's what it really comes down to. In other words, you just got to take care of yourself. And you can't ask anybody else to take care of you because they've got their own gap to deal with. They've got their own emotional scale to deal with. In other words, and if everyone would just tend to their own vibrational scale, then there'd be a lot more happy people walking around and interacting with you. And so we'll tell you something that Esther discovered about Jerry. Jerry cares so much about feeling good that he holds himself in that train of thought and just doesn't let himself very often go to a place where he doesn't feel good, which means sometimes he's not there for her. But where is he? He's in alignment. He's there for her. In other words, he's there where her inner being is. He's there in that place where he is calling her forward toward the well-being that is natural, you see. And so what you want to do is be ultimately selfless in being ultimately selfish by saying, I care so much about you, dearly beloved family and friends, that I will insist on being in my place of utter connection so that I have something to give you, so that I have something to call you toward. Because if I do not tend to that, then I've got nothing to give you, you see. And if I tend to that, then I've got everything to give you. Tracy, Jerry and Esther's daughter, is saying to Kate, who had crawled into their bed in the middle of the night, Kate, Grandma Hicks would be very sad if she knew that you were not sleeping in that beautiful bed she bought you. And Kate laid there and thought about it and then said, Grandma Hicks is never sad. In other words, you're not going to pull the wool over my eyes. You're not going to trick me into doing what you want me to do by holding up some false evidence before me. In other words, her guidance system is letting her know about that, you see. And so what you're wanting to do is trust your own guidance and encourage it in everyone you see and live happily ever after. And remember that you can't get sick enough to make sick ones well, and you can't get ornery enough to make ornery ones happy, and you can't get poor enough to make poor ones prosperous. The only way that you can uplift anyone is being there where they want to be and offering a steady beam about where that is, so that if they get into the vicinity, they might get caught in the gravitational pull of your powerful signal. It's a split energy that causes confusion in so many of your lives. In other words, you are source energy in a physical body with powerful things that are occurring to you that you want, and you are establishing your own powerful stream, and when you go with the flow of that powerful stream, you thrive in all ways, you see. When you think about it, in light of what you've heard from us here today, even though it was a question important enough that you wrote down, it almost sounds silly to say I find myself trying harder to please others than I do going with my own flow. And in light of everything we've talked about here today, that just seems like madness, doesn't it? And so now you rework your statement to say, first, I go with my flow, and then I have so much resource with which I can uplift and inspire others.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.